107-pound Zepbound weight loss, why self-discipline may be failing you on your Tirzepatide weight loss journey and Zepbound weight loss journey. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 107 pounds the last 2+ years of being on Zepbound, Tirzepatide, and Mounjaro, the combination of those not at the same time because of the different shortages. And on today's episode, I got an awesome comment. I've done another video on this comment because it was so enriched with so many great questions that I wanted to do a separate video specifically on self-discipline. This viewer had asked, I would love to see more videos on self-discipline for Zepbound weight loss and food addictions, food cravings, calorie intake. And the rest of that comment I go into a different video. But on today's video, if you're taking Zepbound or Tirzepatide, this is the video for you if you've been obese or morbidly obese, which I'm assuming you have if you're on Zepbound or obesity management medication, that talking about self-discipline and why this may be failing you and jump-starting with your GLP-1 journey, or if you're at a weight plateau. I want you to leave this video armed with some action items and some jokes and some positivity along the way of how this can help you from what I have learned and what's been super, super helpful for me and what's not been helpful at all. So let's dive in. So I have a study. This is study-based. It's through the NIH, National Institutes of Health, and I will cite my source down below. If you're not familiar with my videos, I do demand and require that I am factually accurate. In today's day and age of things where they're not, I do require that standard for myself. You can click the link, click the more button, and then click the more button again, and it will show all of my links that I'm going to be talking about on today's video down in the description link below. So this National Institutes of Health article talks about self-discipline, and I'm taking that article and then combining it with our GLP-1 weight loss journey because I think it's such an important concept. So for me, and I'm going to use my I statements because I am not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare provider. This is not medical advice. My video's intentions are to punch you to talk to your healthcare provider and open up conversations with a qualified professional. I'm not medically qualified, and I don't pretend to play someone medically qualified on the internet. So with this study, it's going through and talking about self-discipline of what works really well from a data standpoint and what doesn't work well. And what I have found on my Zepbound journey is first acknowledging this. And I think it's really important. If you were like me, and for me, I was on my first diet in elementary school, and my background comes from a huge source of pain, not just physical pain, but emotional pain, financial pain, spiritual pain, like all the pains you can get from being morbidly obese. It was not just physically being overweight. It was from childhood, deep stuff that happened from being morbidly obese, from being a kid into my 20s, 30s, and now into my 40s. And thankfully, having reprieve of that because of GLP-1 medication, it has been so helpful for me. I'll take the Zepbound diarrhea and the Zepbound constipation and all the side effects to have the life that I have now, which is lifting and walking and having quote, control over food. It has been such a helpful tool for me, but it is but a tool. And with self-discipline, I come from the background, and maybe you're like me, of where I've been super successful in pretty much every single aspect of my life. I've got a hot husband and a 9-year-old son, and very successful with my career, running 3 multi-million-dollar businesses from scratch. They're not franchise. When my husband and I started them, we started them from scratch. And so I could not get this juggernaut of the weight. Everything else in my life was gravy, baby, except for this weight thing. And I was always on a diet, a continuous starting a diet, ending a diet, binging off of a diet, and then the loop continued. It was this horrible loop-de-loop. I'm like, get me off of this roller coaster ride. Anyone else relate? And so when I found Zepbound, I'm like, whoo! Having that reprieve of food chatter, food obsession, the food noise, if you know, you know, of where it's continuous thoughts about food and eating, and if people are watching me because I'm obese and just all that goes, what am I gonna wear because my thighs are rubbing against each other in the summertime and I'm gonna get stinky because I'm sweating so much because I'm so big, and what pants am I gonna wear? Oh my gosh, I broke my pants one time on a vacation and there was no plus size store in rural Virginia, and so I had ripped pants and I had to wear a sweatshirt around my waist in like 100-degree Virginia heat, and just all of the thought process that went into it, to have the mental reprieve to then be able to even apply self-discipline was huge for me, was huge. that it was simply a matter of a GLP-1 and GIP-1 in Zepbound. If you're taking Wegovy or semaglutide, it's the GLP-1, but with Zepbound and Wegovy, with Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Tirzepatide, it's GLP-1 and GIP-1, two receptors. Having this silencing, then I was able to take this heavy rock and be able to even apply self-discipline. But it was not even like I was on the same playing field. Skinny people would be like, oh, just eat less, move more. I'm like, I've been trying to do that my whole life. When doctors would say, oh, that's all you need to do, I'm like, okay, as a teenager in my 20s and 30s and in my early 40s, okay, got that memo, but it's not working clearly. So being able to have something that has silenced that has been so helpful, because then I can start applying tools of self-discipline in it. But what is really interesting within this study is talking about findings from this NIH study are people wishing to lose weight may benefit from attempting to improve their level of self-control. I never thought, I always thought, by the way, for me, I would eat copious amounts of food at night. I had lost a ton of weight on keto and gained it all back during COVID and then some, and would binge eat my brains out at nighttime. And I felt like such a loser hiding my food and getting food back out of the trash can after I threw it out, and like the shame, guilt combination that came all with that. Of being like, oh, I'm this successful person in my real life, but then at nighttime, like it was like Batman putting on a mask with food, of like sneaking up food to go hide and eat it. But I wasn't sneaking anything. Being morbidly obese, everybody could see that clearly there was a disordered food perspective. The only one who I was fooling was myself, thinking I was fooling anybody. But clearly, I mean, not being over 300 pounds, there was this disordered level of food perspective. And so with this, talking about self-control, I knew I had no self-control around food. I knew I didn't have it. I'm like, I cannot stop. Once I start eating chips, for example, I love nachos. I love like Mexican food and stuff. Like I love, 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 love that. Once I started eating nachos, there was no stopping until I almost would vomit with being so full. So this whole concept of self-control was crazy to me. But preliminary research, going back to the NIH study, preliminary research suggests that regular self-control practice can lead to improvements on a variety of self-control tasks. So if we apply this to one area of our life, it can go to a bunch of different areas in our life. If I'm applying it for work, I can then also feasibly apply this also towards food, working out, relationships, cleaning my house, organization, things like that. So second, the research suggests that exercise this is huge, exercise depletes self-control resources when completed as a means to a goal, but when not completed as a goal in itself. Therefore, one might overcome poor self-control by identifying forms of exercise that are truly enjoyable, and as a result, do not require self-control, which is what I have said all along. I have said for Zepbound and Mounjaro and Wegovy and Tirzepatide and all of the other GLP-1s, I'm lumping them in, that finding things you love for food and for workout to make this sustainable long term. For me, I love walking my dogs. That is not drudgery. I love it. Unless Mr. Freddy sees a squirrel, and then I don't love it so much. And then his prey drive as a pit bull goes into full kick, and I don't love that so much. But I love walking my dogs. That is a great source of exercise for me. I can see on my little watch and my Oura ring that I'm burning a ton of calories. That is enjoyable. I have found lifting now, I very much enjoy currently what I'm doing that I'm loving, and it switches. If you hear me talk about Pilates and wall Pilates, and then now like I've switched because I get bored with things. But currently right now I'm doing Shanti's Dig Deeper, and I'm loving it. I am loving lifting. I'm loving lifting. I'm lifting the highest amounts I've ever lifted since high school, literally since I played varsity basketball. I am lifting. My arms are getting jacked in a very beautiful, good way. And so same thing with foods. Finding foods I love. I talked in yesterday's or 2 days ago YouTube short, it was the shorter version, about, if you go back and see it, by the time you get this, it'll be out like a week out. But talking about GLP-1 fruits I love. I want you to find vegetables you love, fruits you love, proteins you love, nutrient-dense foods and protein foods you love. Why should we love it? Because the data is telling us, it's telling us in here that we are going to be more likely to do it if it's not requiring self-control. If we truly enjoy it, we're going to do it, right? Have you ever had that where you have to go meet somebody and you're not really excited to go see them, but you have to for one reason or another, and you're like, oh, dreading it, and it takes so much emotional energy to go do that? For me, I am very big on energy exchanges. It sounds woo-woo, but it's very true. From being talent on camera, this is an energy exchange. So when I'm done with this, I'm gonna go lay in my bed and rest my energy because I'm exchanging energy. Same thing with people. There's certain people that take my energy. They're like vampire suckers of my energy. And so I have to have great discernment in terms of where that energy exchange is coming from. And that for me is self-control and self-discipline. And going back to this study of where things are, or have you ever been around people who it's just easy to be around them? You want to be around them because it lifts your vibrational energy and you're like, oh my goodness, they're so fun. They're so awesome to be around. I have people like that in my life that I'm like, yes, of where they make me so happy. Like my hot husband, I'm like, I love being around him, honey. I'll hang out with him and we don't, knock on wood, we don't really get sick of each other. Recently, now that we've been working together a ton, I'm like, are you sick of me yet? It's been a month. Are you really? We very much have been enjoying it. Research suggests in here, therefore, one might overcome poor self-control by identifying forms of exercise that are truly enjoyable and as a result, do not require self-control. More broadly, the present, and this is from the National Institutes of Health, the NIH study. More broadly, the present findings provide further evidence that self-control is an important trait for changing behavior and may predict success in behavior therapy. So if you want to predict your success in behavior therapy, and we're going to tag team that off of GLP-1 weight loss with Zepbound and Tirzepatide and SEMAGLUTIDE and WEGOVY and Ozempic and Mounjaro, we're lumping on that all together, is are you enjoying this flipping process? Which is what I have said. If you go back 2 years ago, when literally I did my first Mounjaro episode and I was calling it Manjaro, or I was calling it the wrong name. Don't make fun. Okay, you can make fun. You can make fun a little. It is kind of, I was watching my old videos and I'm like, dang, I look so much bigger and I've changed so much as a human being. And also me mispronouncing. It's not funny. No, it's not funny. It is kind of funny though. It is kind of funny. It's not funny though. Anyway, anyways, going back to those videos, the point of why I'm mentioning that is going back in those videos, I had said, if you play the tape back from 2 years ago, make this fun. Because if you make it fun, you're going to keep doing it. Now, literally, there's a study that backs exactly that because it's human nature. When we do things we enjoy, we want to do more of it, right? It's that dopamine hit of the reward system, I'm guessing. But it is. We want to do more of what we enjoy. So that is what I want you to do. This is the ball of wax for this video, for you to take action on this. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. Are you ready? Come close, lean in, lean in. This is where it's important. Of where if you've learned something, you actually go do it. You haven't learned anything if you're actually not applying it into your life. So my question to you, bestie, because if you've made it this far, you're my bestie. Or we got lots of besties now, and that's awesome because it makes my heart go pitter patter. We've got so many amazing people in our community. What, bestie, I want to know from you is then what are you going to apply this to in your actual life? Because you will have not learned anything from this video unless you make it applicable and do something about it. So what are you doing? And I say that with love, grace, kindness, and compassion. I guess the kids today, they do it like this, like this. I'm doing it wrong. See, I'm still doing it wrong. How do they do it? I'm like, my son and I were talking about this, and I'm like, I do it this way. My generation does our hearts this way. What are you doing to apply this for your food and then for weight loss or working out? Now, one very, very, very important piece of this puzzle that I have to share, and then I share every single time I flash up when I talk about, I said flash up, I didn't mean it like that. When I show, not flash, when I show me lifting, I didn't start lifting until after year 1. And that started with wall Pilates because I needed to have evidence stacking and self-esteem building that I was physically able to do that. It started with seniors wall Pilates, not just wall Pilates, but seniors wall Pilates in my 40s. And I'm like, this is a hard workout with the senior wall Pilates. It's free here on YouTube. It's the lady with the blue, navy blue leggings with the saddle shoes or saddle thing over her foot. That lady on the cover. Her stuff is awesome, or anyone's stuff is awesome. Just start somewhere. and start seeing like Goldilocks, start turning over the rocks, turning over what is Goldilocks. She's sleeping in one bed and it was too firm, and she's sleeping in another bed, it was too soft. And then she found that was one that was just right. I want you to be Goldilocks with your exercise and food, because if you're not enjoying this process, you're not going to keep doing that. And that, my friend, applies also for Zepbound side effects. I've talked about this pretty much in every single side effect video I've done. Click the like and subscribe button and you can see my playlist on specific non-medical, but my experience, strength, and hope of what's worked well for me. Like I don't get Zepbound constipation because I use Bioptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough. Use the discount code Countess on Amazon, and if you want to get on their website, use the discount code Queen. I'll link those in the description link below for constipation. It's awesome, and sleep and muscle recovery. But if you're having tremendous amount of Zepbound side effects, it's a teeter-totter saw. It can affect your weight loss, but also your longevity of being on this medication. If you're having continuous blowout diarrhea, cha-cha-cha, one's not gonna wanna continue doing this, right? Which you wanna talk to your healthcare provider about that. Do not keep that a secret, and perhaps maybe they can lower your dose or spread out your shots as opposed to every 7 days. Maybe you do every 8 days or 9 days or whatever. They recommend, not you. You talk to your healthcare provider about that. But that's not the self-discipline in here. So my friends, the secret of this, the secret is finding things you like. Finding things you enjoy and that make you excited. If you've seen my Costco haul, as of today, when I'm filming this, it just got released, the Costco haul video. It brings me so much joy doing Costco haul stuff. I love it. I love finding latest Zepbound foods. I love finding like that makes me happy. Some of you love hyperfixation of having the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. For me, I love trying new stuff. You have to do what works for you. And obesity is a wide hoop. It's very, very wide. It's a big spectrum of lots of different people and different things that work for some and not for others, and with different medical conditions, it's going to be varying. And so if anyone tells you it's one size fits all, run, Forrest, run, because that's not true. It is a very wide spectrum to jump through. And so that's what I'm saying is you got to figure out for you your food stuff and then your workout stuff. And that is going to be able to give you the discipline to do it because you actually enjoy it. Do you know why I have a daily show? And I've had a daily show now for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes here on YouTube, because I love it. I love interacting with y'all. I love it so much. It makes me so happy, our community. I love seeing people's successes. I love you sharing with me these beautiful successes. That brings me so much joy, which is why I continue to do it every day. It's not drudgery. When things start to become drudgery, there is but only, and I learned this in COVID, that's not in the NIH study, it's in my own experience, strength, and hope. I learned this in COVID. We have only but so much self-discipline. We have only but so much of that resource. There's only but so much. And so what are you applying that towards when it is a finite resource? There's a cap to it. It cannot go any more. You cannot make any more or do any more, in my experience. And so where are you putting that, right? And that's my biggest question for you. So how can you make this more enjoyable so then you can apply self-discipline, but it's really not self-discipline on it, because then it becomes fun. For me, walking my dogs, going to lift those weights. Y'all, I love figuring out my cute outfit recently. I'm like, what am I going to wear for my new top for lifting weights that show out, suns out, guns out with my new muscles? That makes me excited and like I'm giddy about it. I'm like, I don't know, we'll have to figure it out. Let's keep working out because I want to see how much my arms can go. And now that there's like a little muscle peeking through, it's like the winter snow is going away and like the little flowers are popping through. That's how I feel about my arms. I'm like, what's popping through? Like, it's so exciting. So I want you to have a giddy level of joy about your Zepbound weight loss journey. Food and workout. If you can't handle workout, I couldn't handle workout stuff until after year 1. I just walked. I walked my dogs. And if that is all you can do, do that. And I give you a big high five for that. I tell you guys all the time, turtles unite. I am a turtle. But here's what I know. Turtles win the race. Turtles do win the race. And so eventually, you know what I mean? Like we're getting there. We're getting there. We're hoofing. It's a daily focus. And here's what, things that are good take time. There's no shortcut. There's no secret. People always say that, oh, Zepbound's a shortcut. Manjaro and Ozempic are a shortcut. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not. They're not. For me, this is making sustainable, lifelong skill sets that I'm learning. And having recently been in this weight stall that has gone on forever, not forever, it's been months though, of being in this weight stall. Do you know how much I have learned with my food choices and how much I have learned through lifting? I never would have been lifting what I'm lifting right now had I not had this weight stall. In a weird way, it's a beautiful gift because it's forcing me to look at my food and learn a lot about food. And it's forcing me also to learn about lifting, which I need because of we all need muscle, because of muscle mass loss from weight loss, not just GLP-1 weight loss, but weight loss in general. And it's making me, because of this weight stall, learn all these things. And that's a gift. But I'm learning through doing things that are fun. For me, swimming is so much fun, but here's the other part. I can't go swimming every day. I wish I could. I wish I could have a pool in my backyard, but the count says we don't. It would take away from the dog's space, or else I would get a swimming pool. Because I love to swim. I love swimming so much, but it's not feasible. So if you were in that boat of where you're like, I love X, Y, and Z, but it's not feasible, then that's really not a great solution, right? So which is why we've really worked on our home gym. And I know that that's also not realistic for everybody to have a home gym, but you can do free videos here on YouTube and use cans of beans, honey, as your weights. Or, you know what I mean? Like groceries as your weights. Like literally, it doesn't have to be that complicated. It really doesn't. One of our beautiful viewers, and I forget their name, and if this was you, please know, literally you made me cry when I read your comment, but also I was praying for you and I'm cheering you on and I want to hear an update. They're talking about chair yoga. Like it makes me, they're talking about chair yoga. And that's all they can do for their workout is chair yoga. And how excited they are for chair yoga and how much progress they've made from chair yoga. So don't you dare tell me that there's limitations of what you can't do, because this person can't use their legs, but they can do chair yoga. And they're kicking booty too. And if that is you, forgive me for whoever's name that is. But it literally made me weep reading their comment like, dang, that person is taking life by the kahunas, excuse my language, taking life by the kahunas and running with it. They're not letting their limitations be limitations. And chair yoga is awesome, by the way. I have someone very, very close to me who did chair yoga for a long time and is now doing P90X and has suns out, guns out, and has major muscles. So it can go from chair yoga to major things too. Whew. I love our community, and I want to encourage you. The overarching theme of this video is find what you like and do more of it with food and with workouts. And that will then lead to the discipline. And that's what has been my journey with lifting. I used to not like doing certain exercises. I hate sprints. Wind sprints, I don't want to do wind sprints. I don't want to run. I used to do that as an athlete when I was younger, and I think that's why I detest running. I don't like it. I had to run literally through the Colorado airport a couple months ago. That was the most I had run in decades. But I did it. I caught my plane. The plane didn't leave without me. The plane did not depart. But I don't like running. And so therefore, I am not using my self-discipline towards that. But I do like lifting, and I like lifting now to Shanti, and I like lifting on my weight bench, and I like lifting with my weights, and I like lifting with cute outfits. And so there we go. And I like lifting because I have fun music, and I have cute little earbuds that I put in, and I can blast my music and listen to gangster rap and then Christian music all in one. I can listen to Dolce's vulgar songs and then also Christian music right after that. And I love that for me. But so I'm saying all this in joke, but also to use examples too to help encourage you and motivate you. So I want to know down below, what are you going to do and apply it, because you haven't learned it unless you apply it today, that will help with your self-discipline, your self-control. Tell me down in the comments below in relation to food or workout or both. I would love to know. Our emoji of the day is going to be weight training. And I do emojis of the day, or muscle, one of those muscle emojis. I do emojis of the day to get to know you better because I care. The pattern recognition of seeing your name pop up over and over and over again helps me to get to know you. People like Sandy, for example, who literally just she bicycles every single time she watches me. And it's been months now of where she bikes every single time, like pretty much every day. And she's writing her emojis, and I know her. Mindy, I know her for now years, plural, because she comments on pretty much every single video. Like, it blows my mind. And so there's one of many examples, like Leanne, for example. Like, there's so many who watch every single video, and you know who you are too. All that to say, I do emojis of the day to get to know you better because I care. It's also my bat signal to pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, uplift you in positive thought, because all are welcome at the Countess of Shopping table. In addition, our question of the day, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? And down below, all of my free resources. At this point, I'm filming this in the beta free group, private free group, has not been released yet, but it will be. And so by the time you see this, it should be released, and I'll put that down below. It is replacing the Facebook group, because my Facebook group kept getting shut down in the thread of Facebook. I thought that they were having free speech, but not. They've shut me down now twice in the last 2 weeks. And we spend, the accountant and I invest 10 hours to 20 hours a week, pretty much 20 hours a week now, in that free encouragement group. Have done that for the last 2 years, and to have that get shut down for this positive, encouraging, I'm not now. So we have built and created our own and invested $1,000 of our own income, and we'll invest probably up to $5,000 this year on that because we love that, our community so much. So that will be linked down below. All that to say, it's linked down below. And if you're like, Elizabeth, how do I get to your links? Click the ... more button, and then click the more button again. And it's all like my Amazon shopping list. How do I travel with Zepbound? Like all of that stuff the last 2 years, and on countessofshopping.com/shop has all of my discounts when I talk about like built protein bars and my magnesium and like all of my digestive enzymes and all of that stuff. My sweet friends, and I'll link, of course, that NIH study down below. Thank you for that question. I don't have the viewer's name. I forget who it was. So thank you for them for this great topic. And be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Do not forget to click subscribe and share this video with your GLP-1 bestie. Love ya. Bye, guys.